This was the Cat's Cradle in the early 90s. This is where Nirvana and Pearl Jam played in 1991. Right in this very building. So cool. Looked very different back then. Of course, it's been renovated to be a restaurant, but it would have been a venue, bar venue back then. Yeah, kind of neat to think Nirvana and Pearl Jam would have been jamming in there at one time. Yeah, the Chapel Hill area is known for producing many bands such as Archers of Loaf, Polvo, Squirrel Nut Zippers, even later on Spider Bags, and it dates all the way back to musicians such as Elizabeth Cotten. So, yeah, cool stuff. And even Blind Melon at one time lived in Durham in the early 90s. So,
see what I'm saying? It's just fundamentals. What? What's wrong with your faces? Let's go sports bar.
This is the street that Elizabeth Cotten lived on as a little girl in the early 1900s. And she lived parallel to the train tracks, which is right next to us. And because of that, it led her to write the famous song Freight Train. And other bands would actually go on to record that song, such as Peter, Paul, and Mary. And I'm not sure, don't hold me to this, but maybe the Grateful Dead or Jerry Garcia may have recorded a version of it. But she was known for, she started a style of guitar picking called cotton picking, where she used all of her fingers. She kind of used all of her fingers simultaneously. But her house no longer exists, sadly, on this street. But it is down, she would have lived down a little further, I believe. Yeah, it's hard to tell on Lloyd where exactly on Lloyd Street the house was. But somebody had said it was kind of in this vicinity. But we don't, it's hard to know exactly. Things change so drastically as things get torn down and new buildings get built through the years, through the decades. Speaking of Elizabeth Cotten, look at this awesome mural of her that somebody painted on the side of this building. See, she was a left-handed guitarist, but back then they didn't make left-handed guitars, so she had to learn that's why she learned a different style of picking. So she lived a long life, and imagine all you would have seen there. I mean, she got to see a lot of different presidents take office. She lived through the Jim Crow laws, many other things. I have one of her albums, actually, or a live Elizabeth Cotten album that I bought at School Kids Records. Now, this is the newer Cat's Cradle, and I've even heard that they're looking for a bigger venue, a place to build. They're going to build a place or move to a bigger place. But anyway, this is the newer one. I think it's been here since at least the mid-90s. But I have seen some cool bands here. I've seen the Meat Puppets here. I've seen the Melvins. And a few others. Here's some of the posters of upcoming bands that are going to be here in the near future. Oh, I saw Superchunk here too. I think I saw them a couple years ago. Maybe 3 or 4. Time flies. They had just put out a new album at the time. Oh, Kurt Vile. That'd be cool. He's a good guitar player. I think I've seen the Melvins here twice, and I've seen the Meat Puppets a couple times. And once at Local 506, which is another popular venue, bar. So it's a small little bar, but it's bands play there. Another cool thing about this place, this is where Squirrel Nut Zippers did their video that really gave them, that sent them into superstardom, Hell. That is where then Folds 5 would have recorded their album Whatever and Ever Amen. That is pretty cool to think the song Brick would have been recorded in that very house.